I have a response to Janet Napolitano who says, show me a 50-foot fence and I'll show you a 51-foot ladder. I know how to fool her. We'll just dig a 2-foot ditch on the outside and all their ladders will be too short. My argument's as good as hers. And yes, we can. I designed a wall. And I got to hearing, they'll just take the tin snips and cut through a fence. And so, well, that can happen. You've got to guard any fence. Anything you build, you have to guard and maintain. So I designed a concrete wall that would be a slip-form footing that would go X feet deep, so it's harder to dig under. And then it'd be a notch in it so that you could take precast panels of concrete, pick them up and just drop them in the notch. We could build a mile a day of that with our construction company. And we're not going to bid anything like that, and it would cost about $1.2 million a mile to build that. We are spending now $12 billion protecting our southern border annually. $12 billion. That's $6 million a mile. Now, you think what a mile of Nebraska gravel road looks like. And if Janet Napolitano, who's my guy from rural Nebraska? One of you guys grew up on a farm in Nebraska, anybody? Okay, at least the three of you, everybody knows though. Think about that mile of gravel road. And if Janet Napolitano came to you guys and said, hey, I want to hire you to guard your mile, and you to guard your mile, and you to guard your mile, and I'm going to pay you $6 million a year to guard that mile. And by the way, I'll give you a 10-year contract while we're at it. So you've got a $60 million contract. And of all the people that want to go across that, you can let 75% of them through. We're not going to say a word. But that 25%, I'd like it if you'd slow them down and take them to the port of entry and let them go back on their own. Now, are you going to hire a bunch of Border Patrol to sit there with their Humvees shoulder to shoulder all the way down that mile and pay their benefits package, their pension plan, and all of the administration and support network that it takes? I mean, I'd hire some, but I'll tell you what I'll do. I'd look at that and think, I want to minimize my labor investments. So I'll do a capital investment. In my first year, the first $6 million, I'd take $2 million out. I'd build a fence, a wall, and a fence. So I'd have 2 patrol roads in between the fences and one on the outside. And they can have the southern side of what goes on out there. I don't care. And then I would put on some cameras and some vibration sensors and other sensory devices and hire myself a couple of guys. Actually, you'd have to have probably 4 to be able to rotate your shifts around. Maybe even 8 guys. But they're going to cover more than a mile. So manpower-wise, I haven't actually calculated this. But it isn't going to be much. Just $2 million out of the first $6 million of the first year, I'd build that structure, and I would reap the benefits, and I'd walk out of there after a decade with tens of millions of dollars in profit, and I guarantee you I'd get a lot more than a 25% efficiency rate. And so that's how I look at that. Yes, we can. We have to maintain it, and we have to man it, and we have to put sensory devices on, but it's a far better use of the labor than what we have chasing people around in the desert 100 miles north of the border because somehow they wander through and are concentrated in a valley, so we go wait there for them. Let's just not let them in. Shut off the bleeding at the border. I think we can do it.